Hi, this is Karu with Sequentially Yours, Initially Mine. This is the show where we look at new comics, first issues, if at all possible, and tell you my first impressions about it. So, originally I was going to be doing out of a fit of pure nostalgia, Gem and the Holograms #1. I've been waiting for that one to come out actually for a while now, but you know what? This came in my roommate's loot crate, and considering I saw that it was at the top of the February sales, I had wondered why. Now I know. Orphan Black #1. And when I say that I know why, I'm not saying that it's good. I'm saying that Loot Crate bought a bunch of them and threw them in the box. I have to admit, it was fun playing the Loot Crate game this month. That was a lot of fun. It was a spy game, and it was really kind of cool. Anyway, Orphan Black #1 is written by Graham Manson, John Fawcett, with Jody Hauser. So that's 3 writers. Already I'm starting to get a little iffy. Art is by Zyman Kudransky. I'm very bad at pronouncing things. And color by Matt Lopez. Alright, so the thing with Orphan Black #1, it's not a bad comic. It's kind of what you would expect from a licensed comic, I guess is the best way to put it. It doesn't try to reach beyond what it's supposed to be, which is the tie-in to a show. And that's a problem for me because I haven't watched Orphan Black yet. I know. I've been told multiple times that I need to watch Orphan Black. That's very, very good. I remember being excited when the teasers were coming out and I just never got around to it. That being said, I'm glad that I didn't, because walking into this, my first thought was really, what is going on here? I can't follow this, and there's a couple of reasons why. And yeah, for the record, I know people who read this and liked it because they have watched the show, and it was not very confusing for them. It was not confusing for them at all, but it was confusing for me as somebody who's not watched the show, so it's one of those you unconsciously sort of fill in the blanks, I think, if you have that background knowledge. The problem with the Orphan Black comic here is that it is paced like a television show. Let me explain what I mean by that. There are several places in here where I feel like there were a good 5 or 6 panels between every panel, because they're essentially doing quick cuts between what would be flashback and what would be current time, or flashback and fantasy, and trying to distinguish them by the coloring of the panel. So, if it's a sort of greenish tint to it, it's in this particular past. If it is sort of a sepia tone, it is this particular past, etc. The problem is that those sorts of quick cuts don't really work as well in comic books, because there are also other things besides the visual that are giving you a heads up to what's going on on TV. You're getting sound, you are getting sound effects, you are getting much clearer different actors, where nothing personal to Kudransky, but the characters are not that distinctive, and their style is not such that I can easily tell between them who and what's going on. So instead, I'm left to wonder, panel to panel, what just happened. Also, the fact that it's jumping around in time with no time indicator. Again, this is something that works well for television. When you have essentially an hour, roughly, let's say, 45 minutes to an hour, to get used to these sorts of jumps back and forth and round and round and round. And quite frankly, in a comic book, you have 25 pages, 20 pages, something along those lines, in order to tell your story. Even if it's going to be a continuing story, even if it's just, here's the beginning, you can't be jumping through time as easily because, again, there are secondary indicators that the viewer of a TV show picks up on subconsciously that cannot be replicated in a comic book. So essentially what you had with Orphan Black here is you had a comic that was trying to be a TV show. Or more to the point, it is in fact a licensed property from a TV show, and they're trying to recreate the TV show rather than create a comic. And quite frankly, comics they don't work that well as TV shows. They are their own medium and need to be treated like their own medium. So, Orphan Black, number one, is not bad. There are some good elements to it. The mystery is fairly well presented, and by the end of it, I at least knew what I was supposed to be curious about. And that's a good thing. But it tried to cram in so much and present it like a television show rather than writing a comic book that I think it ultimately sort of fails on its merits as a comic. I'm probably watch the show at one point. This has not put me off from the show or anything, but I don't think I will spend any time reading the comic from this point forward because, quite frankly, A, I'm told that it's pretty close to the show, so I might as well just watch the show, and B, it's not really a very good comic. Sorry, guys. Hate to be the one to say it, but hopefully you'll fall into it and start doing comics, and that would be cool. Well, I don't know what your opinion is, but that one was initially mine. Thanks for watching.